Dango Dai Kazaku. Alright, welcome to a review of the anime Clannad. I don't really have a template way to go about this, as it's my first anime review, so I'll just wing it with my notes, kinda. And I don't have a kind of rating system for different areas of an anime either, you know. So I'll just likely have just an overall rating, if anything, near the end, at the end. So now to the unorganized notes. Yay! Spoilers ahead, in case you haven't seen Clannad. Alright, so let's just do a brief recap and then we'll get into my notes that I jotted down for the whole, throughout the whole kind of commentary. Alright, so the brief story is Tomoya Okazaki, he's a high schooler, not really with much to look forward to, he just messes around with his friend. One day he meets Nagisa Furukawa and helps her achieve her dream of reviving a theater club or drama club, and in the process they get a bond going, James Bond. No. And thus, near the end, a romance blooms, which pushes us into season 2, but we're not going to get into that here too much, at least. And alongside that plot, we have a second mystery plot, which is an awesome thing, of an illusionary world that contains a girl and a robot. Very interesting. Alright, now let's get into the notes. First off is Fuko. I think it honestly did start in the first episode, so I do take this to be a 9-episode story arc. You know, considering that other characters didn't get time or a story arc, I think perhaps this was too long and maybe needed to be condensed. Maybe if they would have cut it in half somehow, that Ryo and Kaio could have got a story arc. And I think, and here's some big spoiler bits, but where Fuko kind of has, like a death scene, I think just with my ideas and stuff, I think they could have gone about it just a bit better if they would have had just a couple seconds in there to spare in the episode where they could have showed like a heartbeat monitor kind of going down, and then right near where she disappears you show it the line doing that. I think that would have just really tear-jerked everybody all the more, and it would have been much more powerful. And also later on, getting into more spoilers, kind of second season type stuff, I think that would also be explainable, even kind of like a false death cliche type of thing. It could have been explained as, it just showed, or people even assume it just showed somebody else's monitor, not Fuko's room with her in her coma type thing. Where are we at? Yeah, still explainable, and it would have been less of a blatant kind of false death cliche type thing. I think she was a great character, and I don't know about her showing up randomly after her supposed death. Maybe it would have been better off if that wasn't the case. Because she did have 9 episodes, but I guess it was just the illusion towards her not being actually killed off or something like that. So I don't know. And then that song in episode 9, oh man, just go listen to that beautiful song. It's called Anna. I think I accidentally called it Anna in my notes, and maybe in the video as well of that episode of my commentary. But anyhow, some not dumb, some folks dislike Fuko. Everybody's gonna like and dislike different characters, but I liked her character. I think in an overall sense, I think it would have been better if she would have stayed absent until season 2. I don't know for sure, but that's just that. And I'm also dealing with kind of some burnout as I make this video, so bear with me. I will try and do whatever I can. Ichinose, her story arc, Kotomi. This was a great episode, or story arc, great story arc that followed after Fuko. So we dealt with Fuko, then we get into this other story arc of this other girl, Ichinose. I think it was episode 10 through 14, maybe 15. I don't think it was 15. So I think it was 5 episodes. I love that how they go about it. It's really well written. They kind of introduce things and then explain them later on as we progress with her story arc, and that's just awesome. And for example, like the teddy bear type thing, why she hugged Tomoyo in the teddy bear costume and stuff like that. That's kind of explained later on, or was at least an allusion towards later on. But anyhow, yeah, her story arc was really good. I don't know, her story arc versus Fuko's. I think Ichinose had the superior story arc. I think she may have had the better story arc. It was much more intermingled in all those episodes, I think. I don't know. Anyhow, now Tomoyo. There wasn't enough time or plot to it. Compare her like partial episode or half episode story where she relays her kind of past and the problems and her goals and dreams to Tomoya. Compare that amount of time to like the 5 episodes Ichinose got, or the technically 9 that Fuko got. I think Tomoyo deserved more time, even though she gets her own timeline episode at the end, but I'll talk about that later on. So yeah, I don't think the amount of time was very fair to Tomoyo. And that brings me to what's kind of even worse. Ryo and Kaio. I don't know if, Ro and Kyo, I always called her Kaio, so whatever. But anyhow, mentioning that, it's getting warm in here. No, I'm just kidding. Anyhow, so speaking of, a time void for characters, it's quite sad they didn't have, story arcs in Clannad. I'm fairly certain Kaio, or Kyo, or however you say it, is I'm pretty sure she is the follow-up favorite, other than Nagisa, which was the route they took. I'm pretty sure she's the follow-up over Tomoyo. They seemingly, I don't know, there was something about it. It seemed like they had a bit of chemistry at the school and in the lab, or rather the gym storage room. It's getting warm again in here. Shush phone, I'm doing a review. Shush. Another thing for Ryao or Ro, I call her Ryao, whatever, to not even be on the cover concept art for season 1. I think that is garbage. Why couldn't they just toss her into it? Seriously. Where is it? Here it is. She is not on the cover. There's Fuko, Tomoyo, Nagisa, Kyle, and Ichinose. She's not on the cover. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. For one of the secondary girl harem characters or whatever of Tomoya to not be on the cover art, that's pretty sad, and that shows you the time that they didn't have for her and Kyle or Kyo. It's just a frustration. They didn't get the time, but Fuko got 9 episodes. What if technically, because I think she was mentioned right at the end of the first episode, but so Ryo and Kyle not getting the time, that's a big complaint of mine. Tomoyo also. So yeah, I guess I'll just leave it at that. Ro not getting on the cover concept art, but all the other girls get on there. That's pretty horrible. She didn't have the confidence to get on the concept art. Kyle was bold and confident and tough, and Ro was kind of the exact opposite. Phone, be quiet. I'm doing a review. You don't need to be vibrating over there. And that brings me to my next note, which is just kind of the romance aspect of things. It's not the best because it isn't just primary that genre, and it's not just like going all out romance like My Love Story or I guess just My Love Story. That's all. That's just the prime example. And it, Clannad had to shuffle a lot of characters as well and a lot of different information. But we see occasional hints towards Nagisa and Tomoya's bond and them becoming a thing, which is good. Although it's a bit underhanded. In a more realistic sense, in that neither of them would want to really confess something like that, and things are just kind of going along. A confession like that would be awkward and really vulnerable, so think about that from Tomoya's perspective with his life. That's a good point. They do become a unit right at the end, or right near the end of the season, and they actually show off the romance side of things in cute little ways, given that he started to choose Nagisa and he fell for her and went for her, and they became a thing. So they had some cute moments, and all the other girls kind of got out of the picture at that point, so they could kind of focus in on that aspect of things moving forward, which brings me to kind of the minor complaint. There ain't no kiss scene. That might be even a complaint for season 2 as well, but no spoilers. No kiss scene. I forget in the OVA if there is or isn't a kiss scene. I think there might be, but in the main beef, that's what I'm talking about. No kiss scene. That's a complaint. And I would have preferred 1 to 2, kind of like 1 to 2 more episodes of kind of showing off the cute romancy bits between Nagisa and Tomoya in this first season, but they did fine as is, and it's just the allusion to hopscotch into season 2. It's kind of like a motive. I understand. Another bit. I don't want this video to go on forever, so let's get going on more topics. Botched cringeworthy moments. I do agree with other people's perspective and opinions on this. The Ryao and Kyle crying when they aren't chosen by Tomoya. That is a huge swing and miss, because they weren't given a story, and neither did we have their whole perspective type thing. We're in the perspective of Tomoya, not them. Even though it made allusions, and despite hintings or anything like that, there's not any feels there for them. So it was just cringeworthy. It came across as stomach. Shush. Now my stomach's talking. So it came across as way too forced and like in your face, like they did the close up of Ryao. That's too forced. And the execution was not well done, I don't think, on that stuff or that moment. Ryo's, that shot of her, that was cringeworthy. Ugh. And also the kind of the end confession between Tomoya and Nagisa. I find that could have been, this is just another little bit, but I find that could have been executed a little better, as to have her maybe kind of actually reply, or not do another kind of cringeworthy in your face crying type thing. I don't find that to be executed very properly, I guess. I don't know. It's fine, and I don't find them a big deal, but they're just like little things to me. I don't really mind. So not too big a deal, but I have to criticize Clannad somewhere, with it being my favorite as a whole series of an anime. So yeah, it's kind of like a comedy drama mystery tearjerker. It knows how to make you happy and knows how to make you sad. Great dual plot, great mystery, which fuels interest in season 2. In terms of the dub and sub, obviously, in a general sense, the sub version is better. There's more emotion put into it, and tearjerker-ish. Dub is okay for some characters, I find. What on earth, though, was with May's voice? That voice is just... I can't even put my finger on such a voice like that. I guess I'll just label it hilarious, and not really in a negative way. It's just a really oddly unique voice for a little sister girl. I don't know what else to say about that. Soundtrack, that soundtrack, come on. That's a AAA plus soundtrack. Those soundtracks are just chock full of the emotion. Every single moment it's spot on, and it's a well-rounded soundtrack. So that's essentially their ammo to go along with every emotional moment. This better not turn into a 30-minute video. I don't know. Animation, it looked stunning back then when I first saw it. Absolutely stunning. It looks, I can honestly say, it looks better on Blu-ray. It has more detail than you ever could really pick up in the standard version. On top of such, I so wish, I said this like every episode when I was going through the commentary on it, but I wish there would be like a 10-year update visually. Man, oh man, take my money type of deal. Onwards to more topics. Tomoya's family. I think they did real decent backstory. And the relatability there can kind of become very impressive in certain ways. And this might be more of a complaint, or not a complaint, but a suggestion that would have been more of for like a season 2 type thing, but I can't get into it too much, just as it pertains to like what was going on with the father in like season 2 and stuff. And there could have been more of that, something between Tomoya and his father. But I wish there would have been. I understand not having this, but I kind of wish there would have been, like stuff about the mom, and that could have been part of like the father's story arc in like season 2. Like I say, I don't want to get off too much on the rabbit trail, but they did a fine job with the general filling us in on all that, and moving us forward with Tomoya's perspective. So maybe it is a better thing that there wasn't much on her, and that it just keeps the focus on Tomoya moving forward. Nagisa's family, best anime parents ever. Sugoi, just so supportive, and as any parent wanting to be like matchmaker or grandparent or whatever, they want to hook Nagisa up and have her have a boyfriend, although Akio plays it tough with Tomoya as well, just giving him kind of the workaround. But Akio for the win. Akio is cool in my book, and I can say that. Cool guy for you can say that. Alright, female attire. This kind of goes off on a little bit of a different rabbit trail, but and I don't know if I'm going to notice this in like all the other anime as well, but this is something I like. For like the near entirety of Clannad has girls and women wear like a ribbon in their hair versus like earrings and stuff like that. I find that to be a whole lot better and a way cuter alternative. No messing, altering with your body or anything. Though that kind of gets off on a different rabbit trail for not like a review type thing. I just kind of wanted to mention it. So the Tomoya story arc in the OVA. That is a double-edged sword, because I understand it benefits fans of that other route and Tomoya ending up with Tomoyo. That's what that episode shows off, the last episode in this, which is 24th episode, I think. So there's kind of like a benefit to it, but there's also a detriment to it in that with ending Clannad off with that, it is an OVA, so it's kind of like on the side, so I guess I can't argue that way, but still, going through it, it kind of goes against, it quite goes against the main story, which is kind of a not good thing. So I find it to be a bit of a double-edged sword. Another bit of a rabbit trail, but symbolism, beautiful dual plot, and the snow. I might be delving into season 2 a little bit too much here, but foreshadowing and hinting at stuff. I love when anime can just wave certain things in front of us in the show, and we don't know what's going on until far later for like big reveals and stuff. I love when they can just toss something on the screen we don't understand, and then later on we will. Alright, I'm not letting this turn into a 30-minute one. So I guess my conclusion is, the best way to put Clannad is, I guess, it gets you to care. It knows how to make you amused and laugh, and it knows how to get you sad and get you with the feels. I think some things could have been a bit better, even though it's my kind of personal favorite, due to it being one of the first kind of like anime I saw a long time ago, one of the first, and it's just what's kind of stuck with me the most and relatable and all that, in just certain different regards. So yeah, it was just one of the first ones I saw. I saw it on YouTube forever ago, way back a long time ago, after I created my account. So yeah. So those were kind of my thoughts and notes on Clannad. I'm quite biased, since it is kind of my favorite series. So I guess my rating for it is a 9.5. Quite high, quite high. And if it wasn't my personal favorite, I suspect it would be something like 8.5 or 9. I don't think it would be a 9.5, but because it's it's part of my personal favorite, I think I'm going with the 9.5. So I guess you can't imagine what I'm going to rate Clannad After Story with what number if this one's a 9.5. And Clannad After Story is better and stronger. So I don't think anybody is cool enough but me to guess what I'm going to rate Clannad After Story someday in a review. Someday, hopefully. Nobody's cool enough to guess that. How's that? But anyhow, yeah, to wrap things up, I look forward to doing a commentary on Clannad After Story someday. But I want to be in the right mood for it, and I want to aim for what's more valued for the time being, which are blind reactions instead of what I've seen. But I'll be doing great non-blind anime as well that I've seen. So I'll give my commentaries on the non-blind stuff, and I'll give kind of my reactions on the blind stuff moving forward. But that's more of a rabbit trail for a vlog update I'm also going to be doing. So I guess that wraps it up. Now excuse me as I go fix some tags behind the scene of what's next, and will be announced right after this video comes out, I hope. It became way longer than I ever expected it to be. We're just a couple minutes under a half hour, so this is going to take forever to upload. Not what I intended at all, but hey, that's what you get with Clannad. I made it longer than a whole Clannad episode. How's that? Anyhow, I'll see you again, Cool Clan. Take her cool.